And welcome to the Chaska Human Rights Commission meeting for Thursday, November 17th, 2022. Our date is a little bit different because next week at this time, we will all be recovering from the effects of too much turkey, if in fact that's on your menu. So slightly different meeting date for us tonight, but glad that we're here. First thing on the agenda would be our roll call.
Commissioner Kamen, Commissioner Hubbard.
Here.
Commissioner Wilbert.
Here.
Commissioner White. Here. Commissioner Zayek.
Here.
Commissioner Sanderson. Commissioner Haga. Chair Carlson.
Here. Excellent. Our agenda has been distributed to us. Are there any changes, additions, or deletions that we need to consider tonight? Having heard none, then may I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Motion made by Jennifer. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Martin. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carry. We do not have a guest presentation this evening. So let's go on to approving our minutes from October 27th. Any changes, corrections, deletions that need to be incorporated? Having heard none, may I have a motion to approve October 27th, 2022 meeting minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Jennifer. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Juana. There's been a motion made by Jennifer, seconded by Juana, to approve the October 27th meeting minutes. All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carry. The treasurer's report, something we look forward to each month. Elise, please.
Commissioners, I don't think there is really anything different in your treasurer's report from what you saw last month. Again, at the bottom, we've kind of talked about the preliminary budget. The final budget will be adopted on December 19th before your next meeting, so we'll give you an update on that. We do have the stipend in there for the $500 for the Human Rights Commission logo, and the River City Days Committee is looking at new swag, and they'll be talking about it tonight. So we talked about potentially ordering that before the end of the year if possible. So I think that's it. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Latino Voices, we were able to support them, and that check was given to them, mailed to them? Okay, great. Thank you. Any questions for Elise regarding our treasurer's report? Having heard none, may I have a motion to approve the November 2022 treasurer's report?
So moved.
Sienna, good for you. Motion made by Sienna. Is there a second?
A second.
Thank you, Martin. To approve the November 2022 treasurer's report. All those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carry. Great. So here comes our business. This is the crux of everything that we do here. So, Jennifer, an MLK Human Rights Celebration update.
So our subcommittee met on the 1st of November, or end of October.
November 1st.
Okay. Oh, I have it here on my email. Okay. And the exciting thing is that the subcommittee chose a quote from Dr. King to kind of be something to focus on for the day. We chose, make a career of humanity. Commit yourself to the noble struggle for equal rights. You will make a better person of yourself, a greater nation of your country, and a finer world to live in. And we thought that would be just a really great thing to have people think about how they're individually making a difference and how they're in the community making a difference, how we can work together. So we're very excited to at least get that part done. We are working on communicating with people that will do the music and the different performances. I did get an email from Dr. Barry. He said he had sent me an email discussing what he was planning to talk about for the day. He said, but I realized it never sent, and it is not in my drafts. So he is going to rewrite something and send it to me. So
Excellent.
that's good news. We have some people on the subcommittee that are from Parks and Rec that are working with different schools in the area to get some artwork for the day. We're getting our food lined up. And did you get a chance to talk to Kevin about video
not.
stuff? Kevin? We will be talking to you soon to line up some maybe video possibilities. And we are having another meeting at the end of this month after Thanksgiving.
Great. Any questions for Jen and her committee?
I do have one other thing.
Yes.
We haven't gotten to this point where we're picking out which people will do introductions and things like that, but we may be calling on some commissioners not on the subcommittee to ask if you'd be willing to maybe do an introduction or help, to move the program along. So we'll probably do that, talk about that at the next subcommittee meeting.
Great.
Chair, if
Yes.
I may add. So Kevin and I did talk today about getting a social media post about the Human Rights Award nomination. So he will be working on posting that shortly. That is available on our website. And if you want me to provide you with the link or the copy, I'll send that out again so that you have it at your fingertips. So, and we will, the December 22nd meeting will have a study session beforehand so that you can review those nominations then. And I will send them out the Friday prior to that meeting as well.
I would add to that any of us commissioners can nominate folks just like anyone in the community can for consideration. So since you're a community member, you see what's going on here, and if you see something you think is worthwhile, then submit one, because it's great to just recognize all the things that are going on in the community.
And I think that that's one of the key parts of our Dr. King Celebration Day is doing the Human Rights Award presentation. That's not to minimize the work of Dr. King at all, but it's a way to tie two very significant events in our community together. And particularly as we think about a host of people who have sat here before us and those that will come after us, to acknowledge people in our community or persons in our community or organizations in our community that are doing the good work that certainly Dr. King attempted to elevate in his words. So, thank you. Do we have any award nominations as yet? Okay.
Let's blitz social media with it.
So yes, I would say if you can send us the link, then we can share that with folks to promote nominations. And probably now is just a good time to remind all of us, if we can make sure that we're available on, is that December 20th?
22nd.
22nd. I know that's close to the holiday, but to be here If you cannot be here, then maybe what we need to do is rethink that date. Will you be in town?
Yeah.
Yes. Martin, will you be in town?
I'll be in town. It's Thursday, correct?
Correct. Excellent. And I will be in town, so we know at least 5 of us will be here for that work session. And the work session is at what time?
I think we'll do it at 5:30, if that makes sense for everybody. I don't know how much time you need. We could do it maybe at 6 too. I think depends on
kinda
how many
depends on how
nominations
many.
you have.
Yeah,
And if you want to review the logos then as well, because we will have that in addition.
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. We'll touch on that before the end of the evening again. Pride celebration. I don't think there's anything to report.
We're kind of in the lull season for
Right.
planning that.
River City Days. Again, I think that that's probably in the lull, but in
quite.
thinking about River City Days, it's time to consider all the swag opportunities that we might have at our booth.
So we did come up with 3 items. I put my glasses back on so I can see. We had discussed this year about giving away ducks. This is a sample. We were lucky enough to get a sample. That's a colored duck, as you can see. That's about $2.39 per duck.
Wow,
They
pricey.
also, yeah. And then there are yellow ones in which we can put our human rights logo on. Same size, they're just yellow, they're printable. They're about, that's not right.
I think it's,
Oh, it's,
oh, that's the sunglasses.
it's about $1.59. So for the yellow ducks, it'll cost us about $290, plus the setup fee. Or adding our logo is gonna be a little bit more. But we can get more of the yellow ducks with our logo on it than we can with the
Do you want to see that?
colored ducks.
I did.
We also have sunglasses that may be an option. These are just 2 samples. These happen to be adult sizes. I can pass them down if you want to see them. Those will run somewhere around $1.28 to $1.59 per glass. Looks
The
like,
colored ones are a little bit more.
oh.
Sorry.
So the black ones, the black and white ones are gonna run us, if we got 144 of them, it'd be about $340. The colored ones, for just 100, would be $340. So the colored one's a little more expensive, maybe about $1 or so. We still have fans left, so.
How many fans do we have left?
Did I see something like 85? or
Yeah,
something?
it's about 85.
Yeah, somewhere in there. So a handful.
Do you think we would want to order more fans?
I think we had the discussion in our subgroup that, and maybe we had it in this group as well, that they were kind of needed to be retired. And they had our old logo on them.
Oh,
But of course, we don't have, in order to buy the ducks, I guess it makes sense. If we bought the ducks, there would be no logo because we don't have a logo yet. I mean, it would be the old logo, so that makes sense. It wouldn't be the new logo. So something to think about. As Elise and I were talking earlier, and Hannah and I and Elise before talked about, I don't know if but having like a duck race. So you come to our booth, you get a duck, and then you kind of put it in the little river and it goes down. If your duck wins, maybe they can get a prize, or maybe we can work with another vendor where they can get something. I don't know. These are thoughts. But either way, we need to order something this year to spend up the money.
I'm
You had
smiling
you had to
because,
smile.
Martin, I'm wondering how we're going to create a river. So let's think about that before, like, the morning of. How are we going to create that?
Well, we were just looking at a video from Waconia, and they kind of put their river in the street. We do have the fire department there, so they have the water. We just have to figure out how to contain it. So whether that's and we just talked about it for 5 minutes, I don't have an answer to this, but you can throw a tarp down, you can fill it up with some water, a swimming pool, like a
How
little
does it
blow up.
move? Like to get your ducks to move?
It looked like they had some sort of motor or fan to move the water. But I think with the hose, if you had a hose or something to move the water, we could maybe do a big pool or something goes around. I don't know, these are just thoughts, I don't know.
I have a question,
yeah.
and I know you probably already settled on the, the samples. Would it be possible to add, to find, and I can send some like ideas for it, but fidget toys with the Human Rights Commission logo, would it be possible?
Fidget toys.
We did look at poppets,
Yeah, yeah,
and those are significantly more expensive.
Got it,
For
okay.
50 of them, they're $4.59 a piece.
oh, that is a
So
lot, yeah.
they had, the commission, Commissioner Hubbard and Commissioner
Yeah.
Samuelson had looked at that
Thank you
option.
so much for looking into that,
Yeah.
and yes, totally get it, yeah.
They're ahead, they would be ahead.
Yeah.
Are we able to go any other places?
I think we could,
So Amazon would have them cheaper,
yeah.
but then we wouldn't be able to put the logo on there. Unless we went to another printer and it would still be more expensive. But do we need a logo on it?
We would, especially on those.
It was interesting. So these are the bigger poppets. They're like 5.5 inches. So they're like the big ones. Like I know my kids have some of the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
smaller ones. So we could
You
look
had
at
brought
it.
some, didn't you?
But
Some tiny
in
ones?
addition to, they had like these wrist strap keychains where you could put your logo on it.
Yeah, that would be good.
So-
yeah.
Pass it down,
So
Well, basically what we want to do is have something that attracts people to our booth, that they can walk away with and be reminded that that Chaska has a Human Rights Commission. I mean, I think that's the
Yeah, that's the
goal
idea.
of swag,
Yep.
I think. So what is it that strikes our fancy the most? Or do we just hand out things for the children to play with?
I think having a giveaway that has our logo on it, even if it's our old logo for this year, makes more sense than just giving away a toy for the kids to play with. And I really love the creativity of the duck race thing, and it scares me, but I know if anyone can do it, you will do it,
You
Martin.
know what? That was a conversation we just had earlier for like 2 seconds. That's not a, I appreciate that. I appreciate you.
Well, you seem to find ways to get us to have a slideshow at a booth with no electricity, or, the cooler that kept things cold all weekend when everyone else's was melting and stuff. So I have full faith in you. And I think it would be really something that could draw people into the booth by having a duck race or, something like that interactive. And we've always thought about the wheel or something, but this is something very different than what we've done before.
Let me throw this out. No, I don't want to do that.
Oh.
So this is my thought, sorry, and I don't want to hold anything up as you're speaking. You want to get people interacted, we want to be, we want to get people interacting, I can't think of the word, I'm stuck.
Engaged.
Engaged, thank you. So Waconia does their duck races, and so what happens is a business will sponsor a duck, right? So they'll buy the duck and then they'll decorate the duck, and then the duck goes in this duck race, and I think they do it in your home city as well. What if we supplied ducks or something with our logo on it, our current logo, and made it just big enough where people can decorate those ducks so they can pick them up early, decorate the duck, and maybe we can display it, or maybe we can do the race in the water or something. But we get them to be engaged with us. I mean, however they decorate the duck, it has to be in some sort of human rights capacity or something, whether it's a quote or colors or, you know, you put hair on it or something, I don't know. It has to be some sort of theme. Does that make sense? Or you totally transform this thing where there's duck, or maybe it's glasses, I don't know, into something else, get them engaged. I don't know, that's just off the hip thing. Maybe it's, needs to be put off to the side forever, but.
I think that the city will be, and the River City Days Committee is probably looking at an alternate location for River City Days in 2023. I don't want to, I think, Elise could probably update that for us because of the downtown work. And if that's being the case, then thinking about the potential alternate site, although nothing's been determined, I'm just thinking out loud here, may impact our thoughts on having a duck race, but I'm just talking. Elise, do you have any update on that, or?
You are correct, Chair, that between the road work and there will be work happening at City Square Park next year as well to revitalize it, that River City Days will not be at City Square Park next year. We are looking at a couple of alternative locations so that it can still happen, but we don't, that's all I know at this time.
Right. Well, the very nature of River City Days, I'm sure that we can do something with water somewhere. What say you, Commission? Are you ready to buy ducks, sunglasses, or fidgets? Fidgets?
These
Poppets.
wrist
The
poppets,
yeah.
sorry.
Those
This is
look really
fidget
pretty.
on there too.
Yeah, it's a
and pop-
fidget, it has poppet and it's a keychain.
Push, pop, fidget.
And this one, the wrist
Not a
keychain,
keychain, yeah.
that is significantly cheaper than the large square. Because this is $2.99 each for 100.
But that's just the keychain.
Right.
Right, don't we have to add the pop?
No, I think it comes with the, I mean, the silicone part is attached.
Oh, okay.
But if we're thinking long-term, right, we're creating swag. My daughter said not to call it swag anymore, it's merch. We're creating merch for this, for events where the Human Rights Commission could be present. So this is not just River City Days. So I see the subcommittee for River City Days as a PR committee, really, because it's like, how do we create a public image for the Human Rights Commission? And what is the merch to go along with that? And yes, River City Days is one event that we're thinking about, but there's also the Cultural Heritage Month that is going to happen in September. We are going to have a booth for that. We're also going to have for the MLK event, not this time around, but in 2024 maybe, we're going to also have some merch available, right? So how do we capitalize on that and actually have a budget where we can purchase more of those with the new logo, and we celebrate the new logo as well? That's how I see it. It's not just River City Days. But maybe I'm just too excited about it.
Well, and I think that's a good point. I mean, once we get a new logo, then I think we could really start thinking about buying in larger quantities and getting a better price on things. I think for River City Days this year, we won't have the new logo yet.
Oh, we
so-
won't? But we have the, we don't?
I think that timeline associated with it is that you'll decide in December if we're looking to purchase these items because we have a budget to, before the end of the year, you
Yeah.
won't have a logo potentially.
Well, would it be possible to purchase this items with money from this current budget and then use money from the next budget for the logo to put the logo on them.
I think we'd have to research that more if that's.
Got it, okay.
The ability to do it. I think with this company, they do it all in one and
Oh,
send the
I
ducks.
see, okay.
Or send whatever merch to you with
Okay.
it on there.
Okay.
What's the likelihood of us adopting a new logo this year?
Well, our contest, quote unquote, ends December 1st. And so the thought is that during that work session in December, where we look at nominations for the Human Rights Award, we would also look at the artwork that's been submitted in the contest, and we make a selection. So we would have that December 20th.
22nd.
22nd, yeah, sorry.
Kind of tag on to what you're saying. So to use up what's left of our budget, so right now we have 1391, right? And we don't want that to disappear for
Right,
next year, right? Because
right.
we asked for an additional 1,500. Could we order product for, actually, okay, just had a thought. So, another thought. So if we order merch for MLK to hand things out, so if you're talking about this as PR or whatever we're gonna do, order this, and so you hand something out for MLK. So we order, I don't know, 250 keychains. I don't know what the amount is on there, but we spend that money now because we have it. And then whatever's left, we just kind of push those things forward, and as we develop the new logo and it's ready to go, we can buy later on from next year's budget, because we asked for an additional 15, we just kind of have to budget accordingly. Does that make sense? And if we, what's the word? Sorry, lost my, but if we,
We use part of this year's budget.
part of this year's budget
Right,
to
for-
buy, hand it out, but if we kind of, instead of just throwing all of it out there at once, we kind of funnel
Segment
it.
it, like piecemeal it.
Yes, thank you, throughout the year, so we have enough. It doesn't all have to go at River City Days. If we want River City Days to be fun, we don't necessarily have to give things out, we just have to be more excited about what we're doing, and we just kind of hand it out. Maybe we buy pens, those are cheap as well, right?
But the duck idea, working on the duck and making like a bigger duck, working on it and putting whatever quotes, I think that's brilliant. And I think we should go with that for the River City Days.
But we could pick this up,
From next year's budget.
from next year's budget. If we printed them now, let's say we got them and bought them, put the logo on it now, and then we got different merch for other events, that means that might have the new logo on it, and when we get to River City's Days, which is in the middle of the year, we've got an old logo instead of the new one. But if we use the money now, use the old logo, we can kind of push through to get to the new stuff. And so if we want ducks, we can order them later and have the new logo put on them if we choose to do that. Does that make sense?
Yep. The other thing is, the logo doesn't change what the commission's plans are and who we are and what our mission and vision is, correct? Hi, Kevin. So it's really just revamping the logo of the commission, is not coming with a completely different set of values. Is that right?
That is
You're
correct.
Right. So it's just the image, the little image is nothing else. We can give merch with new logo and old logo at the same event. It doesn't have to be. Is that not the case?
Yeah, of course. If we did this push, pop, fidget, wrist strap, this is, we're spending way too much time on these things. But I think that, and we said, and it looks like you can imprint, that word may have changed too, maybe it's not imprint anymore. But if we can, HRC or Human Rights Commission or something on this little strap, it seems to me that spelled out, we're not impacting the old logo versus
Right.
the new logo.
And just have the Chaska Human Rights Commission. Yep.
Okay.
So what's your recommendation, committee?
Are you talking the whole committee, or are you talking just the subcommittee?
Subcommittee, I'm
There's
sorry.
only one of the subcommittee here, but I guess I would like,
Oh,
a
I thought
motion.
Juana was on your committee.
No,
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 she's
I'm
not.
just very passionate about the
She
topic of
is.
PR.
I think I would like the funds, I don't know if you voted on this in the past or not. It looks like it's gonna run us somewhere around $500 after shipping, or in there somewhere. To have those funds approved this year so we can order merch for next year. And then, as we get into next year, order additional merch for all our events.
Okay, so you're asking the full commission for funding approval to buy merch. Isn't that just short for merchandise?
It
Yes,
is.
yes, that is, yes, that is.
For merchandise, swag, with, to be distributed at various functions throughout our program activities. And
Yes.
you're asking for $650, or are you asking for $750?
I'm asking for 500.
We could put a little bit more.
Are we talking, I'm talking this year and then next year, so.
Next year, we would have to consider the budget for next year.
Yes, I am asking for $750 this year to purchase merchandise.
That has just a generic Chaska Human Rights Commission rather than the logo on it. Is that what you were talking about? Because we can use that even with the new logo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it
With-
just
with
says
the-
Human Rights
It
Commission.
might be cheaper, well, I don't know, but we'd have to look at it to just use the current logo we have. Just because it's there and they can print it and go, but if someone has to design the HRC
Right.
and make it digitized, it might be more.
Oh, I was just thinking letters, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, they charge.
like a,
I
okay,
mean, someone's got to set it up.
true.
Whatever's
There is a
whatever's
set-
cheaper.
There is a setup charge
So-
of $50 with it.
There's been a motion made for the merchandise, swag, River City, multiple events subcommittee in the amount of $750. Is that, is there a second to that motion?
I will second that.
So a motion's been made by Martin, it's seconded by Jennifer, to authorize the expense of $750 for merchandise, swag, promotional items to be used at Human Rights Commission events throughout the year. Is there any discussion? Are there any questions? Having heard none, all those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes carry. Thank you so much for swagging it.
Or merging it.
Or merching it.
And PRing future events.
Do we have an update about our Cultural Heritage Month?
We will be meeting on November 29th at 12 PM. We have not met since our last meeting, and I already provided the report for that one. So after November 29th, I'll be providing a little bit more of an update on that.
Terrific.
Kevin, is there anything to add? No. So
No,
that-
nothing to add there.
Okay, thank you.
Community partnerships, communities of belonging. I think that's either Jen or Juana.
Let Juana start and I'll fill in if I need to.
So So Jen is, are you going, so I have this to pass along to folks, and then you can start from there.
And I have
this way. So this is basically the handout that we received for Creating a Better Story 3-part learning series. And I want to start by saying that the meeting was fantastic. We met this Monday at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Quite a bit of an attendance. The plan is basically, it was a planning session, and this is the recap that I sent to you, Elise and Sarah, so I'm going to share with everybody. But basically, it was a planning session where we, there was a proposal from the YMCA Equity group to provide a 3-part series of conversations/trainings called Creating a Better Story, and that is the description of each of those trainings. And to accommodate, so it was submitted to the group approved it, said yes, we would love to have that. So right now, we're in the stages of trying to promote it and get as many people to participate from the community in this 3 trainings. The trainings will take place after holidays, so it's going to be from like January through February. The plan is to have, so it's a 2-hour session, will take place in the evening, so that will give a lot more people the opportunity to participate. Every other 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on what we decide as a group. The idea is to get, again, as many people from the community to be able to participate in this. They will be virtual with the opportunity to participate in person, have a group gathering in person at the library, which is great. And the library will have the Zoom meetings, projected in a room, and the groups will be split, and conversations will happen in smaller groups. Ideal is where they have no more than 60 participants, but no less than 10.
60?
60. For this type of trainings to work. And, and basically promotion and registration materials available in English, Spanish, and Somali. And this is all through the Carver County, so they will take care of that part. That was my understanding, right? Yeah, okay. And then people are encouraged to attend all 3 sessions, but it's not mandatory. So people can come in for the first session and then not come in for the second or third. Or they could come in on the second and third session. And then basically that will inform, so this will be kind of like listening/training series sessions, which will inform what we're going to do as a next step. So first step is to have the Y facilitate these trainings. It is up to each one of us to promote those, and we'll most likely ask for the partnership from the City of Chaska and promoting that on the City of Chaska page, if that's a possibility. And then just, I was thinking as we were talking in that meeting, it would be so wonderful if the entire commission can participate. It's a 2-hour devoted time for the training/listening session, plus 1 hour in between the sessions. The sessions where we would just go over the material in between sessions.
So kind of
it's
like homework.
Yes, kind of like that.
But
So
they,
it's about.
but they did say it wasn't
A lot.
assigned homework.
No.
Okay.
But it is something that after the conversations, they will offer you some questions to think about, to reflect on.
Yeah, like
I think
reflection.
they explained it more as a reflection than homework. It's
Okay.
just kind of some follow-up stuff, and it's self-directed.
Yeah.
So you can do as much or as little outside of these sessions as you want to. It's not required.
Yeah, so we're looking at a total of 9 hours of your lifetime, of next year, let's say, for this particular event. And what I really liked about it is that the Y came in, the folks from the Equity and Innovation Group came in with the thought of co-creating this with us. So it's the community gets engaged in co-creating the story, this and a better story for the community, and it's not them telling us how to do things is engaging the community in the realities of the community and then how we move forward. So, yeah, I think it's fantastic. I'm excited about it.
Do you have dates?
Not yet. That's what we're going to figure out once we have all the like promotional materials, and it's going to happen after the 1st of January. It's not going to. I specifically asked not to happen on the 3rd Thursday of the month when the Human Rights Commission meets. So that I can tell you is not going to overlap with this. But, yeah, it might be another Thursday evening, but it's not going to be in our Human Rights Commission meeting timeframe. So, yeah. I think that's it. Did I miss
Well,
anything?
the material is different, but this whole model of how they're doing it reminded me a lot of the series we did with Race, the Power of Illusion, where it's just every couple of weeks, the community gets together, some of the same people show up, some new faces show up too. And there's just been, like a facilitated conversation. And the YMCA would be the main facilitators, but the Communities of Belonging group would also kind of help with the different breakout rooms. So they will help us with the logistics of that and everything, but it gave me the feeling of how we kind of ran the behind the scenes stuff with when we did that event a couple of years ago.
And this is at no expense to the Human Rights Commission?
That is correct. There is no expense for us, no.
Okay.
We are members of the community, and we're invited to be part of this as participants. So
Yeah, Communities of Belonging has really done some great things throughout Carver County. And I mean, it's so great that Patrick and his team have been able to offer these funds so that communities are each able to decide how they can help bring community together. And this group has decided this is a really great way to start.
yeah.
They did say with the YMCA that after this, then our Communities of Belonging planning group will probably get together and decide about like maybe surveys or some way to connect with the community to find out what else do we need in this community, where do we go from here, and things like that. So it's really a collaboration, and they want community members to really take ownership of creating their story. That's the name of the thing, and so I think it'll be empowering. It'll be really interesting to just get to know more people that we, will talk to on a different level than we do when we see them at Target and see them for 2 minutes, so.
And this would be strictly for the city of Chaska, or would
It's only
members?
City of Chaska.
Okay, so
I
I know that Communities of Belonging are active in other communities in Carver County.
Right, so it's a Carver County initiative.
Yes.
But it's really, what they're looking at is having it developed in each town
So
individually.
like Waconia has a group that
Yep.
does separate things.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
And the really cool thing, so Jen brought up the question of access, which was fantastic. So that's how the whole meeting at the library came about in that meeting. And then Mary Hernandez brought up the cultural sense of the culturally relevant delivery of it all, and having someone who is a native speaker be part of the meetings and be part of facilitating, because there's a lot that is being lost in translation. So, yeah, it was great.
And also we asked about like the age group.
Yep.
And the Y said that they generally, say like what,
High
middle
school level.
high
High school level,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's 16 and up. So the participants are, we invite people who are 16 of age and up. So, yeah.
Great. Looking forward to getting more information then on it.
Yeah. So once we have all the promo materials, then we'll, Patrick is going to tell us what the next steps would be. We're not going to meet again prior to the delivery of this meetings, listening sessions / trainings. So, but we will have the promotional material to deliver it, and then we'll have some dates too.
Great. Thank you both for your participation. Carver County Mental Health. I think in absence of Kaylee, I'll kind of try to summarize briefly a meeting that Kaylee and I had in conjunction with the Carver County Mental Health Advisory Group. And their representative, Ellie Krug. We talked yesterday and attempted to identify how the Human Rights Commission can partner with this advisory group to bring listening sessions, learning sessions, and in a safe environment to particularly LGBTQ plus individuals in our community. And what does that look like? Kaylee offered a brief perspective from Independent School District 112. We talked a little bit about what kind of, how that would move forward. The advisory group is supportive of some type of an initiative that could be done in 2023. And so what we settled on yesterday evening is that the advisory group would prepare a 1 to 2 very short kind of presentation about what they would like to achieve. Kaylee agreed to work with them in that regard, and then we take a look at it and see if we move forward on that. It would also be a determination as to whether or not the Mental Health Advisory Group would want to kind of formalize an initiative with the City of Chaska Human Rights Commission. So I thought it was a productive meeting, and I look forward to seeing that kind of synopsis of how a program could move forward in our community. Certainly, we touched briefly on perhaps some questions that potentially could be raised. And I feel between Kaylee and Ellie's perspectives, they'll be able to address those in a, like I said, in a short paper that we can consider. I don't know if we'll have it in our packet for December, but certainly we will have that information for us by sure in January. So it was a good meeting. Kaylee did not give me an update on the Native American, oh, any questions about that? Native American Parent Advisory Group, Kaylee did not give me an update. Did she by chance send anything to you? No, okay. So nothing to report. The HRC logo.
We got one today.
Yes.
Good.
And it's in vector. It's in that format.
Right now it's in a PDF, so
Oh, it's a
we'll,
PDF.
I'm just taking a nomination right now.
Okay.
They'll vectorize it if they
But
need
it has to be, right? We confirmed that it has to be that way.
Since Kevin is still here, I will ask him if it has to be that way. I think,
No, we can make it in any form.
Oh, fantastic. Great.
Excellent.
and I talked to Kevin about that this morning. We'll push out on social media here.
Okay.
shortly.
Strategic plan and annual action plan. Yesterday, Kaylee, Martin, and I met with Elise to talk about our action plan for 2023. And what you have in front of you tonight is kind of a written consensus of what our thoughts were. And basically what we did is we took a look at what our goals and objectives were. And you'll recall that we did that in 2022. I think we worked with the city of Chaska, the city of Chaska, the city council members. Was that in 2020, Jen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. To develop a strategic plan. And so what you see are the goals kind of that we set forth to proactively partner, to advise staff and council, to engage and educate our community, to continue our ongoing core events, and then we created another other category. So I'll give you a few moments to read through this. I think the most exciting part about this, and Martin, if you want to, I'll hold my comments. Do you have anything to share?
Oh, I'll interject as
Okay.
need be. Go ahead.
I think the most exciting comments or talks that, or discussions that we had were about kind of our empathetic response and our preparation of public statements. And so what we talked about was having 10 to 12 public statements focusing on human rights issues throughout the calendar year, and just to push them out there. If the need arises in the future that we need to do a more specific response, that certainly isn't eliminating that. But I think that having a consistent monthly message out every month about either highlighting or shining our attention on a particular issue or issues is certainly something that will help us engage in our community efforts. You'll see that we talked about doing another event in 2023. And certainly suggestions are open, but at this point we're saying, let's have a women's recognition event month. Now, whether or not that's in February, March, or April, or May, not yet determined. But add that to our core events. I certainly think that it would be within our wheelhouse to do so. Improving upon our participation in cultural awareness with the heritage events planned for September and October of next year, tentatively planned. I think that's just great. One of the other aspects we talked about was working with our city council members and our staff of the city to help be more engaging with them. And certainly as we look at what's going to be happening, we currently have one position vacant on our, no. Yeah, we have one position vacant on the commission, and we have 2 alternates. And how do we look into our community and help identify individuals who have an interest in what we do, can help promote what it is that we do, and how we can help the city council representatives to screen individuals to to make appointments to this commission. What else did we talk about, Martin?
If we go, any questions on what she's talked about so far, before I take it in another direction? Towards, she's hit everything. And we talk about other things, such as in our subgroups, setting up a succession plan, so we have that leadership in this particular subgroup, so as we start phasing out, we don't lose all the ground we've gained. You know, so we can pass it on from one person to the next. So setting up, I don't know what you want to title the person, but you're chair of this subcommittee, and this is the, we find the vice chair of the subcommittee, and then as the chair,
Incoming.
whatever, as they,
Many organizations have that.
as that person phases out, or we transition from group to group, because maybe it's time to move, right? So we can grow ourselves. That whoever's that second in command now becomes in charge, and we kind of just keep rotating. I think that's important for us, so as new members come in, there's that source of, or there's that, okay, you're going to be a part of this group, and they're going to explain how it's going to happen, and this is what we do, and type of deal. And then the qualitative and quantitative measures, how do we measure our success, and how do we hold ourselves accountable with all the different core groups or different interactions we have with the community. So we're still coming up with thoughts and ways to do that, but your input is important. Did I hit that? Did I come close? You're making me talk. So any thoughts would be great.
I think it's also, when we talk about the kinds of things that we want to see our commission do, it's important to remember that we have to be partners to other organizations in our community. So this year we listened to Mikasa, we've listened to Latino Voices. We are looking for mental health possibilities, mental health listening sessions for possibilities. Last year, Kaylee and I went to the Rotary organization and gave a presentation to them. I would think that part of our reach out into the community is to organizations like Rotary, the Lions, other civic organizations that exist here in our community. The Chamber of Commerce, who frequently said we want to be a partner, but has not been able to show up at the table. So engaging those initiatives so that we have their participation, or at least we have 20 minutes in front of them so that they know about us and know what we're doing. And thankfully, Elise was with us, and so she was the scribe for us. Thank you so much for doing this. I think what I would ask that you do is take a look at this in the next weeks, see if there's anything that you would recommend that we add, change, or delete. This would kind of be an action plan for 2023 that we would want to take to City Council and say, these are the kinds of things that we're planning on doing. Nothing firm, nothing concrete, but what we plan to do in 2023 to engage our community and in helping them become more aware of the many aspects of our neighborhoods.
This could also be taken on, call it like a roadshow, but it's when the Human Rights Commission would do presentations to various organizations, this could serve as a document, like as a, like the thing that we say out in the community. This is what the commission does. This is what we plan on doing. This is what we're all about. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's awesome.
And I really like the idea of, yes, after we look at it, and approve it of bringing it to the city council. We've talked about that before and haven't gotten to it yet, that we want to start trying to make a regular visit to the city council to just let them know what we're doing. You know, we're asking them for a budget and we're putting on events for the community, and I think it would be great if we could communicate with them, give them a chance to ask questions, or if they have concerns about something that we're doing, or if they have a suggestion of something else we could be doing or consider doing, you know. I think that that'll be really helpful. So are you thinking like the beginning of next year that you would present this to them and just kind of give like a state of the commission or something? I
Oh,
mean,
that sounds so official.
I know, well, we're very fancy, so.
Right, because we have merch.
Yes, yes.
Yes, the plan is that it's in in January or early February to take what we proposing for 2023 to city council to let them know what it is that we're planning. Ask certainly for their input if they see that they would want to recommend any program changes or ideas. I think that they'll be receptive to see that this commission is making progress.
And I think that this is a great way towards the accountability piece that you were talking about, you know, to make sure that we're meeting certain objectives or goals, because we did a lot of work at that work session where we, you know, were collaborating with city council, and we came up together with kind of how this commission would be moving forward. And now we can show them, okay, these are the fruits of our labor. This is what we hope to do in the future. I think it's good to just check in with them.
I agree. I agree.
If I can add here, so the women's recognition event is, I know it's not tomorrow, but it is approaching. Is there any way we could add it, and it's not old business, it's future business, but can we add it to the old business list here that has all the events for the agenda, for future agendas?
Absolutely.
Is it possible?
Absolutely.
Just so that we can have it in front of us, and then we can kind of figure out, okay, who's going to be on that committee, who's, you know, like, since it's part of the event. Would it be possible?
No. Can I add, I think that's a great idea. I lost my train of thought, doggone it. You all always look at me, you talk, and then all of you look this way. And then I realize she keeps looking at me, then I realize she's not looking at me, I'm blocking her. So she,
No, you're not.
I'm really
blocking.
looking at you.
I mean,
Because you were the brain behind the Women's History
how
Celebration
you
Month.
know? It doesn't
You
say
are.
anything, you don't know that?
Yeah, no, I heard you. You were the one who proposed it, the Women's Recognition Month. So yes, that's why I was looking at you.
Okay.
that's the reason why Juana's looking at you.
Yes.
I lost my train of thought and I was gonna say something. Oh, shoot, it was important too. But this is not what I wanted to say, but what I want to throw this in is, as we do these core events and other events, is it possible, or what do you all think about inviting the general public in to help us and volunteer? So if we have, well, it's too late now for the MLK breakfast, but let's say we're putting
No,
that on.
not at all,
Or it's not too
Martin.
late. And then giving them an opportunity to sign up and volunteer, maybe they, I don't know what they want to do, but
Clean up.
clean up, or whatever.
I know I
yeah.
did that, like at this year's event, right? There was like, there was an opportunity to help clean up. So I don't think I didn't sign up as a volunteer or anything, but I was there.
No, it
So-
was
just
just
did it.
announced at the
Right,
event.
right. So if we can have like a sign-up sheet or some sort of something. The Parks and Recs has a great sign-up sheet for volunteering, great. So if they can be part of this event, organizing this event, they could help that they could send it to volunteers.
Facilitate it.
You
Doesn't
know?
have to be for every event. I mean, we don't need it for River City Days, but Pride, the Pride picnic.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know what's planned.
And
for
that's the thing,
cultural
with
heritage.
they did a fantastic job, Elisa, and, yeah, so they were there, and they had volunteers who were assigned tasks
Tasks.
during the Pride event. It could be the same for any other event, but I don't know what their bandwidth is either, so.
I think though, like with Pride, the volunteers came from Parks and Rec,
Yeah.
Human Rights Commission, and like GSA at the high school.
Yeah.
So I think it does depend a lot on the event, because if we do partner with community groups that are also sponsoring the event, they're gonna have a set of people that want to be there or should be there to help run it because they've helped plan it. So I think we kind of have to do it on a case-by-case basis. But I think it's a good idea. There are times we could use some extra help.
And the Parks, and so I go back to the Parks and Recs because they have a fantastic system in place. So you type in your name, you do everything, and then, you know, Alicia has at her end, she gets a whole list of them. So, you know, you have the time slots that are available. So the system is already set up there for volunteers to actually go in and say, I want to volunteer, without having to like keep an Excel spreadsheet of some sorts, which.
Is that-
And maybe I would just suggest that each committee take that up as they're planning that event and let me know. And it's Sign Up Genius. It's a very easy
There we go, okay, got it, yeah.
online system to use.
Got it,
So
yeah.
we can certainly replicate that here.
Okay,
I remembered what I was going to say, and then I'm done. I won't do anything. We should be deliberate in the appointments for each subgroup. Instead of asking for volunteers, I think need to take a leadership position in saying, okay, you are going to be on MLK breakfast. And then this new person, whoever, you know, the new commissioner, you're going to be with them. Does that make sense? Instead of asking for volunteers and then waiting to volunteer, we're just deliberate about what we're going to do. You're going to be here, you're going to be here, you're going to be here. Let's run with it. And if it doesn't work, you know, if that person doesn't jive with that, then they can move somewhere else. But
Yeah.
we're deliberate in
assigning
Yeah.
people instead of, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Well, I think what Kaylee and Martin and I thought was that we would get this into your hands for your thoughtful consideration. We'll be busy in December trying to fine tune this. So any suggestions that you have, if you will please send them to Elise between now and December. I know that Kaylee is hopeful that she can be present with us in December at our meeting. She's got some plans that she's trying to shift around, so.
Well, before I forget, and I'm going to send some other thoughts that I might have about this, but like one thing that I would add to this is, you know how we talked about PR and so it is about engaging the community, but then engaging the community, that those groups that we really, that would probably attend certain events by invitation only. So having almost like a group that is assigned the task of like sending invitations to, so for example, the city council members, right? To send an email or send something for like that particular member, council member, with an invite. Can you please attend our event? This is the event, and have like, create a standard email that could be sent to that. I think it would be a good idea to do that with various, you know, political figures or not in the community, organizations, and send that, like, has a personal touch to it, and send, instead of putting it out there to the whole Chaska community and say, attend our event. Like, be a little bit more intentional about people that we would really want to participate in this event, so.
I agree, Juana. Last year, I took it upon myself to individually phone members that I thought I would like to see. And although I wasn't able to speak to everyone, I did get a few, just, I had to leave messages. The feedback that I received from them was, hey, thanks for the call.
Exactly.
And just, like you said, that kind of a personal touch saying, yeah, you were on my calendar, but gosh, when I heard your message, that I really wanted to make sure that I was there. So, and if we incorporate that into all of our events, just as a kind of a standard thing for that commission or the subcommittee to do, then hopefully we'll get more participation.
So that would be like event organizing part. Okay. Event planning level.
Sure. Any more questions or comments?
I just think you guys did a great job of summarizing, like, what we've been talking about and, tying it back to the plan that we worked on a couple of years ago and just revisiting and saying, okay, now what? And this is pointing us in the right direction again, I think. So thank you for working on this.
Yeah, you're certainly welcome, but certainly thank you to Elise for kind of putting our thoughts on paper for us.
I love the suggestions under the other. It's so strategic. So, yeah. I love all of it, but those in particular. So, succession planning. That's important.
Empathetic response. We don't have anything. Calendar programs. Well, we know what December is going to bring, and we know what January is going to bring. Website. I don't think anybody's been working on the website, other than Kevin in his official capacity.
I sent in my 3-sentence bio.
Have you received all of those now?
I have not. I will individually contact those who have not submitted bios.
Oh, no.
I did.
I don't want to call anybody out here.
I would be in that group, because I don't know what you're talking about. Was that from last meeting?
A couple meetings ago.
Huh? Oh, well, you don't have mine.
I'll send
Yeah,
individual
we
emails.
It's not 3 paragraphs, it's 3 sentences. I did a 3-paragraph one.
And I'll repeat, I enjoyed reading that, and I said to myself, I really want to talk with her about these things that I found out in 3 paragraphs about you.
The
So I
question
liked
is,
it.
would you want to do the same in my 3-sentence
I
presentation?
don't know. I'll have to wait to read that. New business. Actually, this really is old business, and I'm sorry it's not on the agenda. I want to briefly talk about the 20-foot-long Pride banner.
Is that that one?
Yes, it's that banner. When we did the 20 feet of Pride banner artwork, we said, we're doing this because we want to be able to use this at other events. Perhaps have smaller versions of it or a big version of it to showcase some of the activities that to kind of highlight the Pride event. And I'm looking frantically here for my price sheets. But I can tell you, in order to have our Pride banner in its current, it will be over $1,000 to have it framed. And you see that the Pride banner is here and not at the framers because I don't think that that's a good use of our money. So if you recall, we did the Pride banner for basically for our community, for our library, for our Parks and Recreation Department and the schools. So it seems like it'd be a good idea, let's just cut it up in threes. We give it, or fours, excuse me, we give it to the library and they do whatever they want with it. Then another fourth goes to the public schools and they find a space for it and they do the expensive framing. Well, I enrolled it again to look at that option. So I'm sorry to say that there might be a few Jaeger hairs on it, because Jaeger was extremely interested. Jaeger is my Great Dane. He was very interested in it. So I think that is a real possibility. The other real possibility is, and the reason why I brought it in is so that we could look at it, are there portions of this banner that we can cut out and have framed and have it, say one, near our Human Rights Award plaque here in City Hall? Not being a 36 by 50 inch framed piece of art. So I'm at a standstill with the banner. I don't think it's a good use of our money to frame the entire thing. To have it framed smaller, I have the price of approximately $323 each, plus tax. Of course, we wouldn't pay tax because we're a nonprofit. But $323 each. We can have certainly cut out smaller portions of it.
Would it be possible to take a picture of the whole artwork?
Yes?
One picture, and then convert that into posters. And then we could do maybe like a print on t-shirts that we could use for next year's Pride. Like, you know, with the Human Rights Commission on it and all of that. But it will be smaller, so this will not be hanging anywhere. But it's a picture of it that we could give to, and it would be like a poster. Or do we lose the, I don't know.
Well, for sure, those of us who will be on the commission next year, let us not have a 20-foot banner. For sure.
The good thing about this is that a lot of people participated, and their prints are on there. All the kids that were at the festival, it was so cool.
And
They were super engaged with it.
And you are absolutely right. And the most engaging parts of that banner could be cut and framed. There are some portions, and that's why I brought it in. We can unroll it, and before you leave, you can take a look at it. There are portions of it that may not be as inspirational as others. But I'm willing to carry out your wishes.
I think it's a piece of history. I think the city of Chaska has never done this before, right? And it takes a lot to get to this point. I don't agree with cutting it up. I
Okay.
don't know if it's in 3 sheets or what it is. I think we should pay to have it shellacked or whatever they call it, some sort of coating, so the paintings and artwork is not lost. Even if we roll it up and store it, we still have it in one piece. I really think if we could see if we can put it at the community center. I think it's important. When we were at the booth for River City Days, there were people walking behind the booth to find their artwork on what was hanging, wherever it was. And so I think it's important. I think until we're at a point where everyone is comfortable in this city, we need to hold on to it. And I don't think I'm sorry, let me calm down for a second. I don't think we have the ability just yet to say that this person's artwork is more significant than this person's.
Okay.
You know, I think it should just be kept intact. Even if we keep it rolled up the way it is and put it in the basement downstairs, then we have it. You know, at a later date, someone, in 10 years, they can unroll it and say, we did this 10 years ago. You know, it didn't happen before. Does that make sense?
The kids who participated, people who participated at that event felt for the first time heard and listened to. And that is what that is. It's a celebration of that, of being heard, of being seen. So they were so, my daughter was so happy. You have no idea. So, and that happiness is on that cloth.
Maybe it goes to the Historical Society. I've never been in there. I don't know how much room is there. It doesn't have to hang up, but maybe.
Or maybe just store it there.
Yeah, it's you know, it's a part of history now. It's a part of Chaska's history. You know, if it were me, you know me, I would have a huge banner out there for everyone to put the footprints and hands on and so forth. You know, we can bury it right there in the ground. It's there. I don't know. I just don't think we should. We've got it. I understand what you're trying. What do we do with it? We have it. What do we do with it? And I think we just hold on to it until we need it, because I think there's going to come a time in the next couple of years that people are really going to need to see that, to understand that their city cares for them.
Right.
You know, sooner than later, we've got it. We're not going through the motions that we're just here, we're just doing these things. We're just doing the Women's History Month or whatever you want to call it. But we're doing it because we care, and we're going to hold on to this stuff, whatever it takes. That's just my 2 cents. I don't-
And that this is an ongoing, sustainable thing. I mean, we want to keep moving forward.
And if nobody wants to do it, I would love to take a picture of that, and I'll make my own poster. I could print it through Canva.
It's not, and I hear what you're saying, Martin, and you've brought something that I had not focused on. I guess what I'm focusing on is how can we display it? And in its present format, we cannot display it. In its present format, in order to get it framed, it far exceeds any budget that this commission has. And so,
But do we have to frame it? Hear me
to
out.
preserve it.
Hear me out.
Sure.
And I say this because it's made by a new generation. Your generation, my generation, we frame stuff.
yeah,
And we throw it up on the wall, just like all these pictures here. But the next generation, they don't really care so much about that. That's their artwork, that's there. If we threw it up on the community, or what's it called? What's the ice rink up here?
The event center.
The event center. If we put it up on the wall, can we do that? Could we do that? Let's say we keep it in storage, but we put it up somewhere over there for Pride Month.
Yes,
Or
exactly.
maybe we do it all summer or something, where it's posted on the wall. It's been
No.
coated, so it's safe, and we put it there for the month, 2 months. We roll it up, put it back in storage, we pull it out every year, or maybe we get another one. Or maybe, you know, we can, after a couple of years, negotiate with the schools board or district or something, and get them to take it, because we've made another one or something. I don't know. It's just something, as you talk about it, it's there. It's a different generation, you know. My son doesn't, you know, he's 7, right? So in 10 years, you know, is he going to put his artwork on there? Yeah, I'm sure he will. But it's not going to, he doesn't care if it's framed. Me, I got everything in frames. Everything has got to be this nice wood frame with this glass, Taylor the same way. But it's, for them, you could walk into his room and text in the posters, right? And I think it is what it is. It's raw, it is what it is. We throw it up there, we coat it. You know, I've got the Prince mural on the side of my building.
Yeah.
It's just, so he spray painted it up there. People stop by and watch it. Or look at it, excuse me. It's there, it's raw, they don't mind. Does that make sense? So let me stop because I got heated for a second.
And then
I don't
next
know
year,
why.
this could be done, there should be another one like this. Because like the same way that you take pictures of the kids growing up, this is showing the progression of Chaska's acceptance levels, of Chaska's embracing differences. And I think we should see that in time, you know, so I'm all for another 20-foot one for next year. We can store them somewhere. They don't necessarily have to be,
Okay. Great.
so. But can I take a picture of it?
You can take it home with you if you'd like.
I don't know if it's. You know what? I could, and then I can bring it back to you, Elise. I can totally bring it back. But I'll take a picture of it, and then, yeah, play around with it. Oh,
I like the idea of the shirts
yeah.
and put, you know, I don't know how big it is, I don't know if it's possible, but taking some of that artwork and then, you know, just, here's the picture, can you wrap this on a T-shirt? And then,
It's part of March
it is, or
swag.
get someone to print them up, so when people buy them, that money can be donated or
Yes,
something, or
yes.
given to something.
Yes.
So I like the idea.
So I can take it with me tonight, and I can take some pictures of it, and I can email them to Elise and to you, if you want to send them to the rest of the commissioners, and then we'll see what do you think? Would that work? Okay.
Well, I know that if it works out for a T-shirt, that is something people have given feedback about after the Pride events, is there a T-shirt? I mean,
Right.
you know, the GSA has sold T-shirts that they have for their organization already, but there hasn't been a Pride event T-shirt. And people have asked about that, so maybe that's one way that we could utilize the artwork that we do each year.
And this could be Pride 2023 T-shirt. This one, with the Human Rights Commission underneath, and then Pride 2023, because the next one is going to be created during June, the month of June of 2023. So we can use the prior year,
Yeah.
you know?
Excellent idea.
So I'll take a picture, I'll let you know, I'll share it with you. I'm not taking anything or anything, but it's just, I think it would be great to create some sort of something out of it.
There's some incredible
preserve it.
artwork.
And preserve
Yes,
it too.
and terrific
To
messages.
Martin's point. Yes, exactly.
I don't dispute any of that. I think Martin hit it on the nail. I am a person that, if we have it, what good is it going to do sitting in the basement? But, and so that was my focus on trying to get it framed and put someplace so people could see it and could identify and saying, yes, I wrote that. But,
I have a whole exhibit from the Heritage Organization of Armenian Americans that is sitting in my garage because we don't have a storage space. So if you don't have a storage space for this, I can totally add it to my current exhibit there.
Space in the basement.
we have
Okay,
space.
so there you
I
go.
mean,
So
it's
there's-
not a matter
yeah.
of space. It was a
Right.
matter, for me, it was doing nothing, sitting curled up in a roll.
Right.
Thank you, Martin. Good
I feel
idea.
it. We're from the same generation, I gotcha. We're thinking the same. I got a bunch of rolled up posters at home thinking, what do I do with these things?
I framed them all.
I did, and he has some in his room, and I have some in my office.
Yes.
Okay, is there any other business that we need to talk about tonight? If not, we will see all of us in December. November is a month that we are thankful for many things. So this month, I'm thankful for certainly the people who have served in our military, for providing opportunities to ensure that we have freedoms here in the United States. I'm thankful for my friends and my family. I'm especially thankful for the opportunity to be with each of you each month to talk about issues that confront our community and help add to our to hope for our community. And so thank you so much, and I'll look forward to seeing each of you in December. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Martin.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, we are adjourned.